Hello, is this thing on? Yes, it is. Okay. Hello, it's 10 a.m. It is September 7th, 2024. I have something in my beard, which is not uncharacteristic of me at this time. I got my cup of coffee here. I hope my patrons are doing okay. I hope you all are having a nice Saturday or whenever you're watching this. If you're watching this, thank you for watching. I just wanted to provide a quick video update because I suppose you all haven't seen my mug in quite some time. See, I'm slowly aging, as we all do. Um, this is off. This is off to a great start. So, I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about the channel, what I've been doing, maybe give you a bit of a life update. I've been talking a little bit in my weekly updates about what's going on, but I figure this might be an opportunity to, give you a little bit more detail if you're interested in that sort of thing. And if you're not, stay tuned for the next video. I'm working on it. Yeah, maybe I'll give you like a little short little update on that. So, as it stands right now, I'm not going to talk about what I'm covering at this point because I want that to be a surprise. But it's quite an interesting project. It's quite ambitious. I really want to encourage this type of thing as much as possible, as much as one person can, right? Um, but essentially, it's a multimedia web series that has creepy elements to it. Um, so it's right up my alley, right? Um, there are a lot of different elements of the series, and I'm actually not quite sure I've found everything yet, which is a great feeling, even after doing like a month of research, sporadically throughout the month. Um, Even after a full month of research, I'm not quite sure I found everything related to the project. Um, which, sort of brings me back to like the Wham City days where um, I was analyzing This House Has People in It. That was my very first video. That sort of feeling of just going down a rabbit hole and just just having the impression that there's a whole world that's being built here, and there's just a litany of different artifacts associated with that world. Um, and there's so much to discover, and there is some kind of weighty subtext that seems to be at play. Yeah, it sort of reminds me of that in a good way. Um, so to uh, I'm really excited to showcase that project, and I'm doing an analysis of it. I'm about 4,000 words into the script, and I can tell already that if I keep going at this pace, it's going to take forever. Because it's if I, in other words, if I cover it with detail, the amount of detail that I'm currently kind of trying to convey, um, it's going to be ridiculously long. So I don't know from a pragmatic standpoint what I want to do. I might condense everything and just try to keep it to a showcase. Um, just try to keep it down to like an hour, like a solid, tight hour. But I there's also part of me that just wants to cover it in depth and talk about every single detail related to it and try to extrapolate what's going on in the series. I think I have a rough idea of what's going on in the series, but it's like I said, I'm not quite sure I found everything. So yeah, there's videos, there's a musical component to it. There's a video game associated with it. Um, there are a bunch of different websites. There are a bunch of different emails and um, other associated media like PDFs of documents. So a lot of work has gone into this, and I'm really it's so it's so refreshing to see a project that is being um, it's obviously like an independent production, and the creators very clearly, doesn't have a lot of resources, but they are working with um, you know, they're working with talented actors, and they are kind of making the best of the resources that they do have at their disposal. So it's like it's really refreshing, like I said. Um, and fingers crossed, I have arranged an interview with the creator. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to play into things. I might I might just post the full interview um, on on my channel. Maybe I'll make it a patron extra. I don't know. Um, I was also thinking it depends on how my analysis turns out, but maybe I could intersperse clips of the interview throughout the analysis if it makes sense to do that. I would be very careful to I'd be very careful to separate the creator's perspective from my perspective and my analytical observations from I think I'm going to try to keep the interview. Um, I think I'm going to try to focus more on like the filmmaking and multimedia storytelling in general, because you know, like I think the creator wants to keep certain things mysterious when it comes to the series. So I might not be asking them any direct questions about like, hey, this character, what's going on with them? No, like um, you want to leave that up for the audience to kind of figure out, especially with like um, a mysterious web series like this, like the type of things I cover. You don't necessarily want the creator sort of telegraphing exactly what's going on, right? That's part of the fun is like trying to figure it out for yourself, right? So I think I'm going to focus more on like just filmmaking and what it's like to work with actors and working with minimal resources, um, and sort of the pragmatics of filmmaking, um, and multimedia storytelling, and maybe we can discuss some of the what I'm apprehending to be some of the overarching themes of the series. We could speak about it in sort of generalities like that. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to interview this person, and I will be reporting back. Um, so that's what's going on with the series. What else is going on? This is my new house. It's new to me. It's actually 100 years old, so it is an older home. I'm uh, in the process of renovating my office. So what you see right now, this is my living room, um, and this this room is actually probably like a big selling point for why we bought the house because it's a nice big room with vaulted ceilings, as you can see. Um, it's got sort of a mid-century modern vibe to it with the wood fixture over there. Um, you can see in my dining room, I have this strange, sort of austere looking light fixture. Um, we're we are going to change that at some point. That is not my style. It looks a little bit too industrial. Um, so yeah, we're going to change that. But one thing at a time. The house needs a bit of work. So, um, actually, that door behind the light fixture in the dining room over there is where my office is. So, um, it needs a bit of work. So, we moved in June, and I ripped out the carpet because it was disgusting. And underneath the carpet is like I think it's linoleum, but it's super old linoleum. And um, under that is a wood floor, but the wood is in such uh, bad shape that it's really not worth refinishing. So I'm going to keep that linoleum there. It could have asbestos in it, and I think I'm just going to put something over it. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do new carpet or like I guess vinyl plank flooring or something like that. Um, and the walls, man, the walls. There were layers and layers of wallpaper, and then they did a skim coat of plaster over that. This is an old house, so like a lot of the walls are plaster and lath, which is fine. Um, Plaster and lath is actually like, if it's in good condition, it's actually like a pretty solid thing to have in your house because plaster is more dense than um, drywall. So it's a better insulator and it's more soundproof. That's, you know, it's a better insulator compared to just the material of drywall. Obviously, if you have additional insulation, that would be ideal. So, um, but yeah, like I said, there were like layers and layers of wallpaper, and there was this horrible paint job over it, this like puke green. So, the skim coat of plaster was starting to separate from the wall, and it was really in bad shape. So I just had a guy come here and tear it out because I, I, it was not worth saving. In other words, so I had him tear out, gut the exterior wall, and we put in insulation there, tacked up some drywall, and did a skim coat of plaster over that just to make sure it matches. And now I'm in the process of painting it. So it's been a bit of an ordeal, but I just need to keep up the momentum, and I'll be done with my office pretty soon. And maybe my next update, you'll see me. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll see me in there. Um, yeah. So that's what's going on. The house needs some other work as well, but nothing crazy. The electrical's in pretty good shape. The plumbing's in pretty good shape. The roof's in okay shape. Trying to think of what else. We have a leaky basement, but that is quite common with older homes. It's an old cinder block foundation, and it's sort of like a partially finished basement, but finished in the sense that it has like wood paneling. It's not like it's not like a palace down there. It's a place for you know me and my wife to play our instruments, and you know, I have a workshop down there, so I can do my little projects. Um, yeah, what else is going on? I've had a rough year. If you've been following my updates, I've had a pretty fucking rough year, guys. I don't know what else to say. I've had to have three surgeries. So it's been, it's been a trials and tribulations, I would say. Yeah, I had to get my colon removed because I had a severe flare up of my ulcerative colitis. If you don't know what that is, it's under the header of inflammatory bowel disease. Basically, it's when parts of your parts of your digestive system experience damage because your body perceives that organ as something that is alien to it. So your immune system. So, in other words, my immune system was attacking my colon, leading to all sorts of negative effects. I won't get into it other than to say I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. You know, it's it was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. You know, um, kind of think about the philosopher Bataille and limit experiences. It was something akin to that, where the pain you experience is so intense that it kind of breaks down your sense of reality and your sense of experience, like talking like Hellraiser level, you know. Um, Cuck Philosophy has a good video on this, on Bataille and limit experiences and Hellraiser, which I thought it kind of resonated with me because I was like, yeah, I know what that's like. It's like torture. Um, but I'm doing really good now. I'm pleased to say. Now that the colon has been removed and I've undergone this what is known as a J pouch procedure. I had to have an ostomy for a while, which I'll just say, you know, it wasn't fun, but it's also not the end of the world. There are plenty of people who live with an ostomy and they live perfectly happy, functional lives, and they're happy with their situation, you know. And if I had to choose between an ostomy and having horrible, horrible flare-ups all the time, obviously I would choose the ostomy because it was, um, you know, it basically saved my life. I would have died. I would have died without this technology. Um, you know, they said when they took out my colon that it was falling apart. It was basically in the process of completely breaking down. So, um, if they hadn't done something, I wouldn't be alive right now. Which you know, I don't want to be too dramatic. Like this is a thing that happens. Like people with ulcerative colitis, sometimes it gets so bad that you have to have this surgery and you have to have your colon removed. And then you have an ostomy, and some people choose to keep the ostomy, and some people choose to undergo what is known as a J pouch procedure, which is basically where they take a piece of your so your colon is um, your lower digestive tract, your lower intestine, and um, your your upper your upper intestinal tract is what they use to fashion sort of a makeshift colon. I'm probably not like describing this in a medically technically accurate sense, so don't take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm just describing what my experiences are as a patient, but I had to undergo well, the first surgery was to have my colon removed. The second surgery was to create the J pouch, and then the third surgery was to attach everything together to make it a cohesive, functioning digestive system. Um, so, like I said, it was a bit of an ordeal, but I had a good surgeon, and I'm doing really good now. I'm able to eat basically whatever I want. Um, and the long and short of it is I just like poop more than a normal human being, which is not a big deal. Um, you know, don't want to give you too much information there, but that's basically what I'm dealing with, you know. And when I say I poop more than a normal individual, it's probably I probably poop like 5 or 6 times a day, which is optimal for someone with like a J pouch surgery. That's like um, the the results are really good. Obviously, if I eat something crazy, I might experience some turmoil. If I eat something really spicy, But you know that going into it, like I know like, oh, if I eat this, I'm gonna suffer later, but it's worth it because I really enjoy this food. So I can drink my coffee, which is very essential. And I honestly can't believe how well I am doing. It's like after this past year, and it's just been really tough. Like I had, in addition to these surgeries I had to do, I also experienced a couple situations where I had an intestinal blockage, and I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Is one of the most unpleasant experiences of my life. Basically, things get things get blocked in your stomach, and ooh, it's horrible. It's I had to go to the hospital. So I've spent more time in the hospital this year than I ever have previously in my entire life. The first in June of 2023, I was in the hospital for a full month before I had to get my colon removed. And then, I had these two other surgeries, which those hospital stays were not as long, but it definitely was an ordeal. Um, and then I had to be hospitalized because of that blockage. So four times I was hospitalized throughout this entire thing. Um, yeah, but like I said, I'm doing good now, and back in the swing of things. As you know, I've released a couple of videos. If you haven't watched them, I would check them out. I did one on I Saw the TV Glow, which is a great movie. And I did a video on Psycho, the Large Family, which is an interesting mockumentary, I would say. So if you haven't seen those, check them out. I'm working on this new thing. It's uh, it's going to be long. There's going to be an interview with the creator, and what else is going on? I don't know if I'm ready to talk about anything else in terms of what I'm working on. There are a few things in the works that are sort of how do I describe this? Tangentially related to the channel, but I don't want to give away anything, so I'll just vaguely allude to it and leave you all wondering what I'm talking about. That's a normal thing to do, right? As you can see, we are gearing up for Halloween here at the Stockdale household. My favorite time of year, fall. I was just talking with my wife about how I wish it was fall all the time. I wish it was fall the entire year. I could, like, if it was fall 300 days of the year and then summer for 30 days, because you got to get that out of your system, you know. You got to have some amount of summertime where it's hot and you can go to the beach if you want, you can go swimming if you want, and then 30 days of summer, and then skip spring altogether, and then another 300 days of fall. That's that would be my ideal condition. So if there's a planet out there that has seasons like that, um, I'll be going to it as soon as I can. But I guess we'll wrap things up for now. Maybe I'll give you a tour of the house at some point. If that's this kind of thing you would be interested in, we are in the process of making our kitchen nice and cute, kind of going for a cottage core vibe. When we moved in, it was sort of a little bit too Tuscan core for my taste. Very like mid 2000s, like 2005, circa 2005 type Sopranos house type vibe. Just something boomers did to their homes. Don't ask me why. They're trying to make their everything look like a Tuscan villa, and it's very I don't want to want to be too judgmental, but it's very cringe from my perspective. So we are in the process of trying to make a few tweaks here and there to make it not so Tuscan core. Like we removed the fixtures, which were very ornate and kind of weird looking, and just kind of replaced them with fixtures that are a bit more sleek. Um, I think we're going for a bit more of a cottage core vibe in there. We've got a mushroom theme going on currently. And what else are we doing? I don't know. Um, the coffee's kicking in, so I'm feeling good. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Like I said, maybe I'll do a tour at some point when I finish my office. Anyway, just wanted to give you a bit longer of an update because I know you haven't seen my big round moon face in a while. And that's that. I hope you got something from this, and stay tuned because I'll be putting out more updates. I'll be sure to keep you updated on the status of what I'm working on right now. It's going to take a while longer. I don't know exactly how long, especially juggling these other things that I have to do. Trust me, if I didn't have a fucking day job, I would be my output would be much higher. But unfortunately, that's life, baby. We all got to work. So, alrighty. Take care and have a good one.